What do when you just want to spend some money?
You find frugal things to do with it.
That's right, and we have 40 ideas for you today. Hey, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
From Under the Median. We raised our 4 boys debt-free on an income which was consistently under the U.S. national average income. And along the way, not only did we get really good at saving money, but we got really good at having a whole lot of fun without spending money. And that is what today's program is all about. Now, we have 40 ways that you can have frugal fun. Some of these are just appropriate for one person, some for 2 people, for a couple maybe, and some of these ideas involve your kids. So that's a hodgepodge. There's a whole lot of things on this list, and we are going to get started.
Okay. Well, the first one on the list is one of our favorites, and that's having a movie marathon night.
That's right. This works really well like in the middle of winter when there's snow on the ground and you don't really want to go out anywhere anyway. That's when this has been most appropriate for our family. Sometimes we have binged like TV series, and other times we have binged like movie trilogies. But the kids have absolutely loved doing this. And Larry actually had like a really great idea for your family movie binge. And that was you need to provide what? Really great.
Oh, some good popcorn and some snacks to go along with it. Another good movie thing is rather than doing a trilogy, you can do a genre. So like you can do film noir or mysteries or comedies. But there's all kinds of ways you can do this. And they don't cost a lot of money.
Awesome. All right. What's the next thing they can do?
Play board games.
Yeah. Now, here's a caveat. Y'all, Larry was once banned by our children from playing a specific board game. The game was aggravation. And he was aggravating them by jumping on their player right before they got to the safe zone. So they finally looked at me and said, Dad is banned from playing this game.
You know what's funny? I am terrible with board games. I never played games as a kid much. And most of them I don't even understand. And I'll just win. I don't even know how I win.
Family board games, great fun. And hey, if you want like a way to keep track of who wins what game and kind of have just a whole book that shows what games you played when, we have some good friends, Andre and Timberly Gray, and they actually have written this. It's a family game ledger. Now, they gave us this copy as a gift, and we're going to put a link in the description of this video to their shop, and then you'll be able to go there and buy your very own copy. But I'm just going to open this real quick and kind of show you. This is what the inside of the pages look like. So basically, it's a memory book that shows you what game you played, when you played it, what the score was, and there's a place down here for notes. So you can use this for bragging rights. But we think that this whole idea of just having a family game ledger is a super, super fun idea.
Great idea.
What's the next thing they can do?
Well, the next thing that you can do is listen to a book. There's audio books. They're on CDs or MP3s. I think there's quite a few online. But it's fun. You know, back in the old days before television, people used to sit around and listen to the radio. And there's something to be said for engaging your imagination by listening instead of always watching something on television.
Yeah, I love this idea. Really fun. You can also have a family read aloud, which, okay, so if you have a family read aloud, in our family, you have to have like voices for each character. And it's like way fun. Okay.
Okay.
Number 4.
Write a story together as a family and then illustrate it.
Okay. So this is story that you are writing together. So we're going to show you how it works. So I would maybe start the story. So I would come to a point where I would pass it off to the next person, and then they would add to the story, and then the next person on the line had to add to the story. So I might start by saying, it was the midst of a dark and stormy night, and the Ware family was stuck in the rainstorm, and then
they found out they were lost. They had no idea where they were at. And all the farmhouses were closed, and it had already snowed 5 feet. And how it was snowing when raining at the same time, we'll never know.
Okay, and that's an idea. Larry would then pass it to the next person in line, probably one of our children, and they would have to add to the story. So you create this entire storyline collectively by getting to a point where you're like, and you pass it to the next person. This is so much fun because even the little ones can add to the story, and it winds up honestly being very, very hilarious.
Another thing you can do, and we do this quite a bit, is take a nice long family walk. Maybe you've got a real pretty park in your area or a place designated for walking that would be good for this. We have several in our town. We're blessed with a lot of parks and a lot of trails, and so we do have a lot of fun taking long walks.
Number 6 is something that some of you have actually written and told us, this is what I do for good, frugal fun, and that is bird watching.
The other night, I was just outside, and I heard 2 owls outside.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just amazing. And if you got a bird feeder, this is even more fun to do bird watching.
Yeah, now the caveat with bird feeders, especially if you live in a cold area like the Midwest, is once you start feeding the birds during the inclement weather, you have to continue feeding the birds because they come to depend on your feeder being full. So once you start feeding them, please make sure you keep that bird feeder full throughout the winter season so they can always come to your bird feeder and know that there's something to eat there.
Yeah, they get kind of dependent on that, don't they?
They do. All right, the next one.
Take turns listening to different music genres.
Now, this is so much fun because Larry and I definitely would do like music of the 60s. We have inundated our children with, some might say brainwashed our children, with songs of the 1960s. So for instance, our 16-year-old Daniel absolutely loves the music of Peter, Paul, and Mary. He knows them by heart and he sings a mean harmony, you guys. He is an awesome singer. But something that's really fun about this is you can't like bogart all the musical genres. The parents can't. You have to give your children the opportunity to share their music with you. And this is a great chance to foster that communication that don't all of us want with our children, especially if they are teenagers. Trust me, you guys, give it a try. It's a lot of fun.
And I get to get out some of my music from the 70s, from when I was in high school. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like Motorcycle Mama and Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road.
Oh, the classics.
Really meaningful, deep songs. Another thing you can do, the next item, is sing karaoke together.
Okay, another caveat. We pay Larry not to sing.
Yes, you don't want me singing, trust me. No, not a singer.
Yeah.
Not
He plays the piano beautifully. But yeah.
I don't know about that, but I don't.
Daniel and I
don't
sing karaoke. Okay, next.
Find somebody that has a need. Maybe somebody in your neighborhood. Maybe somebody that has a lawn that needs to be mowed, or garbage to be taken out, or leaves to rake. But find that need and bless them as a family.
Now, here's why that's important, because we all get to a point where our own budgets are driving us just a little bit nuts. And so those are those moments where you get, I just got to spend some money. But when you turn that from turning inward to turning outward, it is so good for you to remember that there are others around you who are in need. And regardless of whether you have money or whether you don't have money, you can be a facilitator for blessing them. And that's why we tell you, make sure that's on your list.
This next item we do quite a bit. Go on a picnic. A picnic doesn't cost a lot of money. You're going out, you're doing something with the family, you're getting away from your computers and all of your high-tech stuff, and you're enjoying the outdoors together. It's a wonderful thing. Sometimes we'll take a book and read it with us. Sometimes we'll take a little wind-up, crank-up phonograph and play records while we're out eating together. But it's a fun family event.
And sometimes we take board games, and if it's getting so it's a little bit dark, Larry will bring lanterns and put them on the picnic table, and the boys have always thought that was so cool to be like sitting by lantern light and playing our board game. So this can be a great family activity, and you guys know if you've watched us for any length of time, we had regular Friday night picnics when the kids were growing up, and they absolutely loved it.
Another item they can do doesn't cost a lot of money. It costs a little bit of money, though. Make s'mores around a backyard fire pit.
Yeah.
We need to do that.
Get your supplies from Aldi. Okay, I'm just telling you. If you guys know like a cheaper place, seriously, to get s'more supplies than Aldi, let me know.
Another good family event, and I see a lot of families do this, is go for a bike ride together.
Yeah, Larry does that with our boys. Now, I don't ride bikes, but Larry does. In fact, when I met him, he was a long-distance bike rider and routinely rode between 30 and 40 miles at a stretch. And so now he's got our boys going bike riding with him.
Yeah, it took him for a 30-mile bike ride last year. It was fun.
This is something, as history lovers, especially like local history lovers, we think that exploring historic neighborhoods in your area can be a whole lot of fun to like research some of the homes and then go and drive by it or even get out of the car and walk by it. We actually have a couple of historic neighborhoods that have walking tours that you can look online and find a little bit about each house and then read it as you're walking the neighborhood and walking down the streets and the sidewalks there.
Our city has a very rich history. Mm-hmm. Go around the town and take glamour shots of each other.
Okay, as you guys might imagine, this is my thing because like it's so much fun to ham in front of a camera. Is anybody else with me? Is it so much fun? Do you like get in front of a camera and go, ah? You know? Larry, not so much, but he likes to take the photos. So you can go and you can like find places interesting, like if you have a district downtown that has interesting sculpture and things like that. It's so fun to like put yourself in front of there and like you're a photographer and you're taking like glamour shots of each other. A lot of fun.
Attend a free concert or a lecture. Now, I took my kids to a free Steinway artist concert. It was free. And they offered it, and we went and had an enjoyable time. It was really fun. There's a lot of different events that you can go to free. You can get online, maybe go to your maybe your town's webpage, and there'll be some listings there of things you can participate in.
So I'm going to take a moment to actually plug the fact that we have a free ebook that we're offering in conjunction with this program. And it's 60 free or nearly free things that you can do around your town. And so it's divided, it's a little checklist, and there's 20 things to do with your kids, 20 things to do as fun frugal couple nights, and then 20 things that are like, you know, things you might do to like pamper yourself. So you can request that ebook, and one of the pages in the ebook that I added was a list of places that we look when we want to find free or frugal things to do with our family. So you'll find like my tried and true list in that ebook that tells you here's exactly what you need to Google, exactly where you need to go to find free things. Because one of those areas is to look if you have a university or a college in your area, and we have 2 of them in our town. There's a plethora of things that those institutions of higher learning offer for the general community at large that will cost you nothing or maybe a little bit of money, but nearly nothing. All right, next.
Yeah. This next item, I don't know if we've ever done this or not. Organize a closet or a room together.
You don't think we've ever organized a closet?
You should see our closet. Should I take some pictures of our closet?
No, you shouldn't. This is why it's on the list, you guys, because I think, guys, tell me if you agree or if you truly disagree. I want to know. Is it fun to organize stuff together? Because, Larry, I think this would be like really fun. I think this would be a bonding activity to organize a closet or like organize bookshelves, organize a room.
You guys ever heard of Fibber, McGee, and Molly? You know how the show opened up, okay? He'd open the door to the closet and everything would, well, anyway. Maybe we should do this. I think
we should. I think it's a bonding moment that we should have. So tell us in the comments if you think that this is a cool bonding moment. Do you think we should have this bonding moment? Because I think it's a good idea.
Have a family art day.
All right, you can do this in a couple of different ways. We have like an art closet that just houses all kinds of art supplies. Get them out, throw them in the middle of a table, and just have a challenge and say for 30 minutes, use these art supplies, see what you can come up with. Or you can find a ton, and I mean a ton, of online art tutorials, especially here on YouTube, that are beginning art tutorials that you can get the supplies, arrange them ahead of time. And it's like paying for one of those fancy art days where you go and an artist shows you how to make something. Only this time it's free on YouTube, and you're sitting around the table as a family and creating, pieces of artwork, and it's so much fun.
Okay. Have a family bridge or structure building competition.
Okay, this is a little bit like that, only you're going to use all the 3-dimensional things that were in your art closet. I save all kinds of stuff, you guys, like round tubes that we get, all kinds of things that would make great structure building material. So you set the timer for 30 minutes and you say, build a structure that will support 5 pounds, or build the best structure you can that's the tallest structure that stays stable for 10 seconds when you take your hand off of it. You can set whatever rules are you want to set on the competition, but everybody plays, including mom and dad, and sometimes the kids are better.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, they usually are. Our kids are used to building with Legos. They knock our socks off.
If you really want, honestly, look, if you want to be totally like in awe of your children, do this with Legos. Because we played a game with our kids a while back with Legos, and
it was sad.
They whomped us.
It was very sad.
Okay.
Have a family Iron Chef cook-off challenge.
Yeah. So you can do this a couple of ways. Either you can say, come up with the best dessert you can in 30 minutes, and everybody goes and gets their own materials, creates their own dessert. You can say, here are the materials you need to cook with, come up with a recipe in 30 minutes. And it's really fun to do this in teams. And everybody wants our son Daniel on their team because
I do a really mean oatmeal. Yeah.
I mean, he does oatmeal very well.
Oatmeal, coffee, breakfast. Yeah, that's about it. I used to cook. She's so good, I just let her go. A memory drive. This is kind of fun, especially if you're living in the town that you grew up in. In the case of Hope and I, we're not too far from where Hope grew up, and this is the town that I grew up in. So it's kind of fun to take a memory drive. Go around, go to the places that you frequented as a kid, maybe show them your old house. I had a park that I grew up near, the school you went to, high schools. It's kind of fun just to show the kids, this is how we grew up.
Yeah, totally fun. Totally fun to do that. All right. Yeah. Drive out in the country and stargaze. So we live in town, and so really there's so much ambient light that honestly you can't see that many stars. I got to be honest. But if we drive out in the country, then all of a sudden it's like the whole vista is opened up. And that's really fun to do with your kids, or it's fun to do as a couple date, guys, because then you got to take a blanket and take maybe your beverage of choice and sit out under the stars and stargaze and talk about how amazing your life is and how much you love each other. And yeah.
If your car has a sunroof, that makes it all the easier, especially if it's cold outside.
Yeah, and then you can be more comfortable. Maybe. Okay.
Make a blanket fort inside or outside and then sit together in it. Now, this is really good for younger children, too.
Oh, my gosh. Look, guys, their blanket forts, they would get every blanket they could, all of my old-fashioned clothespins, and like the blanket fort would wind up taking most of the room. And then they would sit in it with a little like flashlight and read and stuff. Blanket forts are great for kids. Tell me if you agree with me, because my kids love blanket forts.
Create an obstacle course and then race to see who can finish it first.
Okay, you can do this with actual people. One of the things that we did is we had this really large like rubber ball, and we decided we would take apart all of their, they had little tykes like building things. They were, like climbing sets. So we kind of disassembled the little tyke stuff a little bit and decided we would start the ball at one end of the yard, and the goal was to get it all the way to the other end of the yard and get it to fall into a bucket. So it was almost like creating a giant marble type maze with the rubber ball. But we used whatever we could find that would support the rubber ball as it rolled, and it had to be an incline, right? So it had to start high and then go down and stay on whatever the incline was and get all the way to the end. And when it worked, you guys, I jumped up and down and I clapped my hands and I screamed and I said, it worked, it actually worked. And I looked across the street, and our neighbor, catty corner across the street, was just standing in her front yard looking at me, and I was like, it worked. She goes, so I hear. So you may get a wee bit excited, even as an adult, when it actually works. So much fun.
You can get together with friends and have a traveling dinner. Now, we did this a few years ago with the two couples that we used to do garage sailing with. I believe we met at our house first. So we had the first course.
So we did appetizers and drinks.
And we had it out in the backyard. It was a little cool out, as I recall. Yep. So we had the fire pit going. We all kind of sat around the fire pit and reminisced. And then we moved on to the next houses. And in between, somebody had a flat tire. We had to fix it.
Oh, I forgot about that. So so the next house would then host like the main course, and the third house would host dessert. So basically, if you have 5 couples, you can divide it up however you want to, but everybody does one part of the meal, and it's a traveling meal. It's so much fun. I keep saying so much fun, but you guys, this stuff is. All right, next.
That was fun, I have to say. Go to a free craft or home improvement class.
Okay, Lowe's has these, Menards. Some of them are designed for children. Some of them are designed to like be DIY classes for adults to show you how to do things like lay your own floor or paint a wall properly or do texturing on your walls. But most of the time, they're absolutely free. You just sign up and you go and you hang out together and you learn a new skill. And so
We did this when our boys were young, and then it engages the parents to help them with the building product. And they built, I think, a birdhouse and, I don't know, a number of different things out of wood. And they were all free, absolutely free, offered by the stores.
you guys know my big thing I do when it's free. Free. Yeah, Michael's craft store offers craft type classes. So yeah, look around.
Another thing, visit a local farmer's market.
Just go take your kids on a Saturday morning, walk around, talk about all the different fruits and veg that you're seeing, the locally produced honey, the maple syrup. Oh my gosh, locally produced products. Love it.
Visit a store's grand opening.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll have special events, they'll have snacks, they'll
Free
have
food, free food.
free. They'll have like live music sometimes, they'll have drawings. It's just a whole lot of fun to see what kind of new store has just opened in your area and in your community, and it's a great way to support local business.
Yeah. Be a tourist in your own hometown.
Okay, so in this case, you are literally going to Google things to do or things to see in your own hometown. And you're going to come upon like the tourism website where they show people who are not from your town what's so great about your town. And the fun thing about this is you honestly, I'm telling you, are going to discover things about your own hometown that you literally did not know.
And this one kind of dovetails into that point. Visit or explore a new park that you've never visited before, maybe something that's close by. You know, we did this last year. There was a local park. It was called Robinson Park. We'd never been to it. It was the coolest park and the nicest hiking trails and wooden bridges that had been built by the Boy Scout troops. Real pretty. A lot of wood vistas. There were some open areas. We really enjoyed it. It was fun.
15 minutes from our house, guys, and we had never been there.
Nope. Color pictures or write a letter to Grandma.
Now, there are always older people who would love, love, love to get a hand-colored picture and a note from a young person. And this is such a fun way to minister to other people.
Have a Nerf gun or water balloon fight. Now, I got to say, this goes back to my childhood. We spent one summer it was a hot summer, okay, doing nothing but having water balloon fights. No matter when we got together, it was a water fight. And that was a blast. And it was a way to stay cool. We didn't have air conditioning when I was a kid. And very few people had it back then.
So Nerf guns are kind of the newer way to do this activity. We challenged our children to a Nerf gun fight years ago. It was the kids against the parents. And we received a photo from our two oldest boys with a note that said, Thursday night, 7 p.m., we will win. And we sent them back a note that said, we are older, but we are sneakier. Game on. Okay.
Have a white elephant gift exchange with friends.
We do this. Like every Christmas, we get together with the same two couples we did the garage sale with for years, and we always have a white elephant gift, and it's so hilarious, the stuff that people come up with.
We found a bunch of gifts at a local Salvation Army store, and I can't remember what some of them were, but they were really funny. They were great gag gifts.
It was a weird looking like wooden bird. I don't even know what it was. It was the strangest looking bird, and everybody wanted it. It was weird. Everybody kept like vying to take home the odd looking wooden bird.
And there was some kind of a weird lamp.
Oh, it was a lamp. I think it did it.
I can't remember. But anyway, use your own imagination. We had a lot of fun with that. We didn't spend a lot of money doing it either. Let the kids cook dinner and create their own restaurant for for mom and dad.
Our older boys loved doing this when they were younger. They created menus, they had a name for the restaurant, they served us, and the rule in our house was we cooked dinner, they did the dishes. So on the night that they had restaurant night, they cooked dinner and we did the dishes. It was a great swap.
Teach yourself a new skill or let your kids teach you.
Now, so the opposite of just you teaching everybody else's skill, I am telling you, if you tell your children, teach me something you know how to do that I don't know how to do, first of all, you'll be surprised at what they do know how to do that you didn't realize they knew how to do. And it is such a great communication activity and a bonding experience to be the one on the receiving end and having your children teach you as the adult how to do something new.
Frisbee in the backyard is fun. Now, we happen to have a pretty good-sized backyard where we live now. Our old house, that wouldn't have worked. But I used to, in high school, I took Frisbees over to a couple of our local parks. I had a homemade boombox made out of a car radio and a 6x9 speaker and motorcycle batteries that would blast that whole area. It was much better than the boomboxes you could get at the store, trust me. But we had fun doing that, and our kids enjoy doing that. And of course, there's always Frisbee golf. We've mentioned that on a previous video. But a very fun thing to do, and it's all free.
Okay, create an indoor or outdoor scavenger hunt. Now, you need to create clues. Rhyming is optional, but if you can get your clues to rhyme, that's even funner. And you have to use the clues to find the next clue, right? So you hand them a piece of paper, say, here's the first clue. They have to move to the next location where the clue leads them. Then they find the next clue. And at the end, look, you're going to have to spend a little bit of money because they need something totally fun to find at the end of the scavenger hunt. It can be like big candy bars or, something like that. But it doesn't have to be expensive, but something fun.
Create a secret code and then take turns decoding messages.
My kids loved doing this. There's something about that whole spy element of creating a code and then passing notes to one another in the code and decoding it.
Have a secret word, and whenever the kids say it, the parents kiss.
Okay, so the kids should not know what the word is. You decide what the word is. Should be a word that's common enough that eventually it will come up in conversation because that's where it's fun. And the minute the kids say it, you give each other a little smooch. Don't say a word to your kids, just give each other a smooch. And then the next time the kids say it, you give each other another little smooch. And then after a while, the kids are going, what is going on here? And see how long it takes them to figure out that they are actually saying the secret word, and that is causing you to kiss. And our kids eventually figured out the secret word, but it was so much fun.
Do a jigsaw puzzle. A lot of families do this. In fact, I have grown relatives that love doing very complicated jigsaw puzzles.
This was one of my favorite memories growing up. My mother always, especially in the winter, had a little card table off to the side of the dining room, always had a jigsaw puzzle going, and I always sat down and worked jigsaw puzzles with her.
Go around in a circle and say 5 things that you appreciate about each of the other family members.
This is, once again, one of those simple and yet so much of a bonding thing to do. This activity will surprise you at what they will say they appreciate about you, and it will give you the opportunity to tell your kids how much you love them and why you think they are amazing. Give it a try. Doesn't take any money, just a little bit of time, and it will really help bond your family.
And that was the 40th item.
Those are the 40 ways that we think it is awesome to spend time together as a family or as a couple, or to pamper yourself without spending a lot of money. Now, I want to remind you that we want to hear from you in the comments section. What fun, frugal things do you do to spend time together instead of money together? And I want to remind you that I have a free ebook. What we'll do free again? Free ebook that I'm offering. There is a link in the description of the video. There's also a link up above there. You can just go grab that free ebook that is 60 fun, free activities. It's a checkoff list. There are ideas in there for spending time with the kids, spending time as a couple, and for pampering yourself. And don't forget, one of the extra pages in that ebook is a list of all of the things that we do, step-by-step instructions on how to find fun, free, or frugal things in your area.
And don't forget to subscribe and like the video and ring that notification bell.
What do you do when you just want to spend some money?
You just spend it.
No, Larry, that's not what you're supposed to say.
Sorry, what comes to mind.
And our boys love to do movie marathons. Sometimes it's TV series and sometimes it's like movie triages. What do you call that? Movie series?
Movies.
You know what I'm talking about. When you have more than one movie. What's the next thing you can do?
And when you do the movie night, make sure you have some popcorn and maybe some tea or coffee or water or soda, whatever you like to drink. Maybe some of that fizzy water. What do you like?
I think we need to start over again. We're lost.
Or maybe root beer or lemon. Lemon water's good.
Oh my Lord.